praying, Lord, you did not bring me here to die. Lord, I have this innocent little baby, and I was clutching him and I was praying, Lord, you did not bring me here to die. Lord, protect us through this storm, Lord. And I'm there praying, and as I open my eyes and as I look through the window, I saw this house starting to move. And the house started to slide, moving, sliding, going down the hill. He said he didn't want to take me there even because the place was just turned upside down. It looked like the hurricane happened inside of our home. Hurricane Irma, Category 5, September 6th. And on September 20th, 2 weeks later to the date, another monster storm, Hurricane Maria, another Category 5 hurricane, came. And what Irma didn't do, Maria came seemingly to finish the job. In terms of the trauma was so high that what I can say in terms of explaining my feeling, I was numb. I was so, it was too much. And I want you to know that I am still dealing with that trauma. To withstand or to be able to bounce back. But not only bounce back, but when you come back, when I came back, what I want for you is just what I want for myself. When you bounce back, you will bounce back and you will build back better. I came back better. This is where I found my better, through that disaster, moving past that adversity, in the midst of that, seeking a way to be a part of the solution, being at the forefront of dealing with my own trauma, admitting it, coming into this space, telling this story so that you can hear from me that it's possible. It's possible to be at your best and for the next day to feel like you have nothing, and then still come back from that and come back better. Just as I did it, I truly believe that you can move past your disaster, your trauma, and you can walk in your destiny. That is my prayer for you. That is where I extend myself to help you to do it and to help others along the way, because you're called to lead. And even through the hurts and the trauma, there is help there for you, and you can use your experiences to strengthen someone else who's on a similar path. So connect with me if you need to talk through your own experience, or if you want to learn how to get good at being a leader that can use your own story to help others and to become a highly sought after leader. You can thrive. You can thrive even through the hurt and the pain. Coming out on the other side, you can thrive. This is my message to you today. The whole thing became mesmerizing thereafter, because now I was pulled out of the numbness by the whole movement of helpers and rescuers. And for me, I existed in the space of the helping profession for so long, but I've never seen help at this level, understanding what it took for human beings to survive, and then to for so much to be lost, but then having hope and experiencing hope and just thankfulness and gratefulness. It all became mesmerizing, especially after one particular news report where there was a discussion on the news about the mental health patients during the storm, and having to evacuate mental health patients from the hospitals over to the other island, St. Croix. And then when Hurricane Maria came, and St. Croix was impacted, they had to send these mental health patients and other patients as well. But I was cued in on the mental health patients because of my profession, because of my field of focus in studies. And they were moving these patients from St. Croix across the different states. Some were moved to like New York and different hospitals across the US mainland. And all this was just that disaster response on different levels. And there was even some confusion about the patient's records going with them. And that is what started to pull me into the space of thinking about what about those patients and people whose mental status was shaken so much so that they couldn't help themselves. Patients, residents who were traumatized. What about the frontline workers? And the first moment, I will hasten to tell you that the first moment of connecting to the internet, we had to travel into the town because power was out throughout everywhere. There was no power. So there were generators running. And I remember the telephone company, they set up a hotspot so you could go send out messages. So in that first moment of traveling to town, immediately after talking with family, friends, connecting there, do you know what I did immediately after that? I started searching for universities. I know it might sound weird to you, but if you know me in terms of being able to cope, my first inkling is research, understanding what's going on, and I saw the interest in terms of, wanting to understand what was going on with the mental health in the mental health space for residents with different levels of need for care. I started searching for universities because at this time I was not studying. I had taken a pause from my doctoral studies at that time, and some other decisions were made that caused me to exit the program. And here I wanted to feel helpful again. I wanted to be a part of the solution. I wanted to help fix the problem. I wanted to be one of those influencers that would help to create policies and models that would work better should something like this happen again in the Virgin Islands or even in other islands. We have a saying, when your neighbor house on fire, wet yours. I was thinking about my homeland. I saw what went on there, and I'm like, wait a minute, if this happened in Tobago, what would be our situation? If this happened in Trinidad, what would be our situation? So I searched out universities and I landed on GCU, my current university, Grand Canyon University. And I took screenshots of their program. I was taking these screenshots so that when I went back to the house, I could go deeper into understanding the program because I was interested in helping. So this program was leadership, organizational leadership with an emphasis in behavioral health, organizational leadership and behavioral health. And I wanted to do this because it would allow me to stay within my general area of focus, psychology and mental health. But I wanted to use this as a platform where I can impact policymakers, decision makers, and be in that forum where we could come up with a better plan to help. I wanted to be interested in things like disaster mental health before and during and in the recovery phase. So that's where I found myself. And later on, I also enrolled at Tulane University in their program, Disaster Resilience Leadership, because I wanted to ensure that I was knowledgeable, capable, and poised to inform how, how we can fix these problems. So Baby and I, going back to underground there, this was in the hurricanes happened in September 6th, September 20th. And Baby was 2 months old. We waited until we were able to do the church service for dedication. And then in October, Baby and I evacuated to Georgia on the mainland United States. And on October 16th, retract that, Baby and I evacuated to Georgia, mainland USA, in October. And on November 16th, the day before my birthday, I registered and I started my new doctoral journey, which I'm completing right now. I'm currently writing my research. And there is so much more I could share. But, not in this moment. What I want to say is I do not ever want anyone to go through what I went through. The sad reality, though, is that as human beings, we do face trauma. We do face disasters. We do go through adversities. So even though I don't want you or anyone else to face these things, it is better to be prepared because we cannot wait until the moment off to figure out how to do this right. And when we look at the field of resilience, not only in terms of disaster resilience, but resilience as a people, as an individual, as a family, as a community, it all applies because we need to strengthen ourselves. We need to understand how our experiences allows our strength, how your faith and trust in God allows you to look beyond and have hope. Yes, disaster risk reduction is a primary focus for me, referring to the strategies and actions to prevent new disasters and reduce existing disasters or to manage the residual risks. Measures to strengthen resilience and looking at sustainable development. Yes, all of that I'm interested in. But I want you to realize that vulnerability, when we think about vulnerability, your own personal vulnerability or overcoming barriers or building capacity to withstand adversity, this is where everyone needs to be able to not only have it in you or tap into greater source of strength or help. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to sharing some more parts of my story. Specifically, I really want to do this because I want to help you. Take care.